I'm still drunk from last night.
A stranger is just a friend you ain't met yet.
Wouldn't pour this on my give it cured cancer.
Compound B.
I think if there's a way to screw this up, you'll find it.
I exploded his
Bees?
Welcome to Compound B, a show about the boys. I am your host, Jamie G. Esquire the Fifth. No, I will not defend you in a court of law.
It's
And
like
I'm
a
also
big
known as
fiery
the
sea
Golden
cucumber.
Retriever. I'm here with Magnum Mills to talk about the final trailers for Gen V, the upcoming spinoff of the hit Amazon Prime show, The Boys. Guys, I'm fired up about this one, excited to bring a little boys back into our life, even if it is the younger generation here in Gen V.
Yeah, I'll back you on that, man. I think it looks pretty promising. Really excited to have it. We're kind of getting into the period of time now where there's going to be less and less stuff coming out because of the writer's strike, the actor's strike. So it's nice that we're getting this. Really appreciate it. And we really appreciate you checking out Compound B. You can find us wherever you get your pods, on YouTube, on social media at Compound B Pod. And don't forget the flaps. It's like when you're in college, you don't want to forget to go to class. Don't forget the flaps. Follow, like, and please subscribe. That's how people find our show, find our channel. If you had fun, give us one of those thumbs, just the one, because if you click it twice, that's not nice.
Well, and you guys should know that this is an absolute full-on spoiler show for The Boys. We could potentially spoil all released episodes of The Boys and some of the original comics. We've watched both the final trailer and the Red Band trailer for Gen V, so we'll obviously be spoiling those trailers as well here. So I just wanted to warn you. That's what it is. We're going to spoil some shit.
Thank you, sir. I think we are all aware now. And before we get into the trailers, let's just kind of bring the audience up to speed on where we are as far as being fans of The Boys, how excited we are for this. I'll lead it off here. I've seen every episode of The Boys. I knew of the spinoff, but I haven't done anything other than we talked about the teaser, watch this, watch the trailer. I read a couple articles. That's about it. I have read all of The Boys comics. Actually, I've been reading them over the past 6 months or so. Just finished them up. I would recommend to anybody who hasn't read the comics. You can read the comics. It won't spoil the show. They're quite a bit different. So I think you can enjoy both without worrying about one spoiling the other. How about you, Jamie G?
I absolutely love The Boys. I think, for what it is, I think it might be one of the best shows. It's probably top 3 for me right now as active going television. It's that good. Season 1, season 2, season 3, all fantastic. Cannot wait for season 4. I'm really excited for Gen V. I didn't know a lot about what Gen V was, but I think that, just give them their due. The trailers were really well executed on this thing. As far as getting me excited, getting me fired up, it gives you just enough to kind of understand generally what it's going to look like, the storyline is, maybe who some of the players are. They added to it with the first one and then the second trailer that came out. And I think it looks like it's going to be shot fantastic, just like The Boys is. And shout out to the music. They picked the right kind of background music to get you excited and fired up. So the trailer plays a big part, or the trailers, I should say, play a big part in my overall excitement for Gen V. I didn't know a lot about it, so to be candid, and then kind of the trailers came out. I was like, dude, this looks good, and I'm really excited, man. I mean, it's got everything I want, right? It looks like it's got a ton of violence, real gory, like crazy amounts of blood, a cool storyline. There's gonna be everything in there I want. So it looks like it's gonna be a good one. I'm fired up.
All right, man. Let's just break it down a little bit quick here. What we've got, just the basic plot as far as it's listed on Wikipedia and whatnot in the press release. Young adult superheroes, or supes, are tested in battle royale challenges at Godolphin University School of Crime Fighting, run by Vought International. And I like that there's a school of crime fighting. It feels like a Clerks 2 reference when they're in the jail and they're like, we're to criminology. What we're doing, studying to be Batman? Like, yeah, they actually are going to college to be Batman, kind of. Pretty cool. The main cast includes Jazz Sinclair as Marie Moreau, a bloodbender with a tragic past. She's obviously the one bending the blood in the trailer and whatnot. Chance Prodormo as Andre Anderson, a popular metal bender. Pretty sure that was the dude moving the shovel and everything. Lizzie Broadway as Emma Meyer, a half-inch size soup with the ability to grow to regular size. So kind of like Termite in the Big Show, the little chick we saw. Maddie Phillips as Kate Dunlop, a mind empath. Derek Liu and London Thor as Jordan Lee, a gender shifter. Asa German as Sam, a young soup with super strength and invulnerability. And Shelley Khan as Indira Shetty, the superintendent of Godolphin University, who does apparently not have superpowers. We got some recurring cast members here. You might recognize these names. Patrick Schwarzenegger as Luke Riordan, or Golden Boy, a popular student and fire manipulator. Sean Patrick Thomas as Polarity, Andre's dad and a famous superhero. Marco Pigosi as Dr. Edison Cardosa. Clancy Brown, my man, love Clancy Brown, as Rich Brink Bickerhoff, a renowned professor at Godolphin University, and Jason Ritter and Alexander Calvert in unnamed roles. And then finally, from The Boys, we have Jesse Usher as Reggie Franklin, that's A-Train, Colby Manife as Ashley Barrett, Claudia Dumit as Victoria Newman, PJ Byrne as Adam Bork, that's the director dude, Jensen Ackles as Ben, aka BCL Red, aka Soldier Boy, and finally Chase Crawford as Kevin Moskowitz, aka The Deep.
Incredible. Really excited about that. Just the influence of those. Maybe we get some pre-story on those guys. That's going to be fun. We're going to be discussing the final trailer as well as the Red Band trailer. So Mills, any major differences between the two? I mentioned that it looked like some stuff got added kind of from the first one to the second one. What's anything else big out there?
Not really. Generally, the Red Band trailer is a rated R trailer, so they can curse. There's a little more blood. There were only a couple seconds different. I think it really just amounted to maybe a curse here or there and a couple shots of blood and gore that were just a few frames longer. But that's about it. Other than that, there was really not any appreciable difference between the actual final trailer and the Red Band trailer, despite the fact that they had two trailers labeled as such.
Let's do it, man. Let's dive in a little deeper to the trailers here. We all kind of said we liked them. They got us fired up. But for me, Mills, not much more than what I mentioned earlier. Again, I thought that they did just enough to kind of help me understand where this story is going to be as somebody who didn't read the comics, right? So for me, that was important just to dangle the carrot enough for me to really understand, okay, what's this thing all about? How's it going to shake out? And I like that the second trailer, I got to see kind of who some of the players were going to be. The first one was really busy for me in terms of, it was just like crazy gore. It looked like there was going to be a lot of blood and violence and sex and all those great things, but I couldn't read the blur. The second one, I was really able to read the blur and kind of see, okay, these are going to be some of the players. This is how it's going to be. This has the potential to be like an adult version of like a Harry Potter, right? For lack of a better analogy here. And I actually really like the concept. So outside of the things I mentioned, I think that was probably one of the biggest things was just, I liked being able to start to get to know some of these characters. And it's going to be really cool to see, whenever you do something like this, so much onus is on the casting. So did they get the right people to really excel and as the viewer allow us to like attach to them? We're going to find out. And I'm excited to do so. And we'll be breaking it down right here on Compound B.
Yeah, I'll just add that it definitely did a good job of getting us hype. I didn't have a lot of context here. I like that they're going with kind of a similar mix to The Boys. There are some actors, actresses that you recognize, but not a ton. And even some that you do, you've only seen in a couple things. There's not a ton of like really ubiquitous actors or anything here. They generally have done a really good job with that. And I think that is the key. One of the things that makes The Boys work, despite how crazy it is the attachment we have to the characters. So that's what this show has to do. It has to feel grounded enough in reality. Yeah. So like the absurdity and the over the topness works with it. It sets it off perfectly. When you do it right, that's why everyone loved like Game of Thrones so much, but it's really tough to keep that balance. The Boys has done it better than almost any other show I can think of as far as kind of finding a way to ground such a kind of super realistic narrative. So as long as they can keep it going, and they have a lot of the same support staff, this is, about as integrated as you can get for a spinoff or a sidequel or whatever you want to call it. So I just hope they can kind of maintain that quality and get me attached to some of these characters. I don't need to love them all, but you got to find one or two, right, to get the hooks into you.
100%. And that goes back to my comment on casting, right? If they nailed that, then I really believe the way it looks, the storyline, all the things that we love about The Boys can kind of find itself bleeding over here. And I think they can make it their own. But they have to get that part right. So definitely in agreement with you there, Magnum Mills. I think we got a couple of other things here worth focusing on.
Let's kind of just keep elaborating on that idea. In The Boys, I think, is a true ensemble show. It can feel at times like Billy Butcher and Homelander are kind of the leads. And then other times you go over and you know what I mean? And you got Huey and Starlight and everything. But overall, I think it is a real ensemble show. I don't know if there's a lead. Is that kind of what you're looking for here? Do you want it to kind of be, where you have 4 to 6 characters on somewhat equal footing, or do you kind of want 1 or 2 to kind of really stick out as the people you kind of want to, root for or follow the most or something like that?
I think The Boys casted so well to where you can literally get attached and any one of them can be the lead in any one given episode, right? Maybe not so much with some of the side characters, but they still play really big parts. like Frenchie, for example, right? So I mean, like some of them, I don't know if they could be the lead, but I think what I'm looking for here is we got to have at least 2 or 3 that can rotate, and then the side characters have to be on point to where whatever storyline they have, because when you have that, you get interest in all those characters and they can go so far with this story. And when you really think about what they're trying to do here and how it could potentially bleed into the boys in real time or in the past or whatever they want to do, it could really, it could be really special. So I think if they nail that, having a couple, 2 or 3 leads that are interchangeable and like nail the side characters, dude, I think they might be onto something here. And this could be maybe as popular and as cool as the boys. I mean, who knows? I think that's kind of its ceiling, right?
Yeah, and maybe let me get another kind of school thing. Like Saved by the Bell doesn't work as well as it does without Mr. Belding. I think they need to nail some of the faculty too, be it the superintendent or Clancy Brown as a professor or whatever. I think it can't just be the kids. If they get a nice mix of the kids, the faculty, and then some of the supporting characters for the boys that are crossing over into this, I think that's really the mix we're going for. I think that's what I would be most excited about. All right. One thing we did see in the trailer, you got a few different kind of power sets going on here. I will say that I think they still need to work on the blood bending. I think it's a cool idea. It just doesn't look great. I think there's still that kind of that blade level of the blood just doesn't really look right when they're trying to use it as ropes or whatever. We'll say Fire Dude look really cool. Probably like an upgrade on the Human Torch from back in the day. Haven't seen a lot of Fire Dudes, and I like the little chick too. I like the idea. I like Termite in the other show. It's kind of interesting that she starts little, like little is default, and she can only grow to like the size of a regular person instead of being like default size by regular and then shrinking down. I don't know, man. Any of the kind of power sets or whatever stick out to you?
Yeah, dude. I mean, the Bloodbender is pretty damn interesting. I think the graphics on this, and this is one that was dangerous because if it doesn't look right, it would just come off as corny and cheesy. It looked right in the preview, and I think that's going to be a character that they can kind of develop. I'm excited about that. Always a fan of the little, in the boys when they did the little guy and that whole scene
Termite,
with that Termite. That was an incredible kind of thing with him. And they did it the boys style where it was just so, over the top. So I'm excited to see where they take her. She's been involved in a lot of the super gory kind of visuals in the trailer. So I think that's cool. Look, they could do a lot with Mind Empath, and that's something that we haven't really. They haven't.
Yeah, we had the
really
Mesmer
seen.
Dude on the first season, right? Was that Haley Joel Osment?
Yeah.
Like Mesmer, remember? I think he's the
Yeah.
only. Oh, and then season 3, there was the one boy from Payback or whatever. He did that trapped like Butcher and his memories or whatever. So we've had a little bit of that, but not necessarily mind control. Kind of.
Yeah. Mind control. I think they could develop it and go a little bit further. So those ones jump off the top. I mean, Metal Bender also sounds pretty cool too, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, that's called Magneto, but yeah, it's still super cool. They're just putting a little bit of like Avatar spin on it. And I'll just shout this out. There's not really a ton of discussion, but it's Godolkin University, and Godolkin is a character from the comics. Don't know if he'll show up on the show or they'll reference him. Not really a main character, but does interact with Huey notably and a couple of the boys and leads into a plot line. I don't know if they'll go into on the show, but not going to spoil that there. It says very specifically in the Wikipedia whatnot that the superintendent does not have powers. That means she has powers, right? They wouldn't write that she doesn't in there. Like, this is one of those things, right? I mean, that's how they do it.
Got to, right? I mean, why go through why tell us if she doesn't? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm on team. She definitely does.
All right, here's a little bit of a fun one. Golden Boy, I think that's the Firebender dude that's played by Patrick Schwarzenegger. Yes, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger's kid. You hear that the chicks refer to his mighty phallus as a fiery sea cucumber. If you could light yourself on fire, what would you refer to your Special Agent Johnson as?
Probably the Rising Phoenix.
That's pretty good. I was going to go with like the Devil's Horn or something like that, like the Devil's something.
Devil's Horn.
The Devil's Pitchfork, right? Because it's got like the Devil's Pitchfork, because you got like the 2 and the 1 or whatever. I don't know. Something like that,
yeah. One's longer. Yeah, I guess it's like Anyway.
Hey, again, that's a fiery sea cucumber. I thought was cool, and it would also be something like I would believe they would serve at a seafood restaurant. Like, oh, tonight our special is the fiery sea cucumber.
Yeah, I could see it being like, especially like kind of like one of those, like they call themselves like a gastro a gastro pub and they've got like a seafood dish. Yeah, I could definitely see it.
Yeah, this is my long way of saying I'd love to hear what alternates they came up for that in the writer's room, because I'm sure that Fiery Sea Cucumber wasn't the first one out, so I would just love to hear what the alts were on that one. Just shout out Clancy Brown. I've mentioned him a couple times. Very prolific voice actor. Been in a lot of stuff. Kind of that very distinctive voice. He's really having a renaissance now. He's all over the place, and he mentions kind of like Golden Boy and these other couple dudes are kind of like the favored sons kind of thing. So I'm hoping that he's got a pretty big part in the season, even if it's just the one or whatever. Any familiarity with Clancy Brown at all, Jamie G? Or
a little bit, definitely know the voice. I think that from just looking at the general casting here, when you went through at the beginning of this episode, it's got me pretty excited, and I'm gonna give them kind of the benefit of the doubt that they nailed this. Because again, we talked about kind of that's one of the most important things here. Yeah, got some familiarity enough to be dangerous, to answer your question, but excited for more. Yeah, if you do, especially if you threw like Queen and like Queen Coagula, like get that little.
Oh, that sounds there you go. Just add a little bit.
Like that's
instead of trying to come up with our own clever thing, let's just piggyback on someone else's clever thing.
There's
also a real good move there. They already came up with a good one. So let's just keep rolling with that.
Yeah.
What's up with the woods? That's the one thing we hear. It's like a big secret or whatever. We hear OG Ashley from the other show. Remember they had other Ashley. No more other Ashley. It's just OG Ashley now. Any thoughts on what this could be? I'm assuming it's some kind of experimentation or things like that. We saw a little bit of Red River, again, something from the comics, something we saw in The Boys Diabolical and in the show proper. Any thoughts on what's up with the woods?
I think it's something, kind of some top secret, government quasi kind of the big corporate, big bad, so to speak. I think that's going to kind of come into play here in terms of maybe some of the torturing or some of the experiments that you said that they're doing. It could also be some of the maybe they're stealing kids and putting them through this kind of incubator system to turn them into it. So I think we kind of get I think it's a way to kind of create a scary kind of vague mystery, but also that kind of leads into an overlying kind of storyline that creates kind of a big bad and maybe makes these kids realize that they're born to be evil, or created to be evil, to use this, and so, or being controlled by something evil to try to, you know what I mean? So I'm excited about what they do with that, but I think it's going to be a pivotal piece of the storyline kind of, and how it affects these characters as young adolescents. Remember, these are teenagers, right? They're in their developmental years as just normal humans. Then you throw in the fact of trying to rein in a superpower. You could do something with that, and I think you could do it where you're not dealing with like the teenage drama that nobody really wants to see. So I like that element of it, because I think it would create some of that and bring it out, whatever they learn from these woods. I think it's going to be something like that.
I totally hope it functions like that, and I'm just going with the crazy experimentation stuff. Maybe they're trying to create new soups or the next Homeland or something like that, but I think it'll tie in nicely. Do you think it ties in with Victoria Newman? We see her here. We learned at the end of season 3 of The Boys, she's now on the ticket with Dakota Bob. She's running to be the VP, the vice president of the United States. We see her here kind of doing, looks like a college town hall or something, and people are protesting it. Do you think she's tied in with this, or is this something separate? Maybe a way they're going to try to tie this season into season 4 of The Boys. We know they're going to do that. What do you think? What's up with the head popper?
I think it's got to be something tied into, I'm going to do a classic Jamie G here, and I'm going to go a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. And the reason why is because it serves two purposes, right? So she could be tied in and wrapped up into this. She could be planted in politics to be able to be kind of an inside person in government, but ultimately working for this big kind of evil, let's call it the big bad, right? This corporate entity, whatever it is. But at the same time,
Vought probably, but
Vought, right? Yeah,
one,
Vought.
Probably
Vought. We'll say Vought, right? And maybe whatever spider web Vought is overseeing, right? It's like
subsidiaries and whatnot.
Subsidiaries of Vought, yeah. But then they're the holdco, and but then it plays into being able to tie in real time with the boys. And so I think it accomplishes both here. That's a wild character, certainly one that we're all want to see more of on The Boys. So I'm excited about them bringing it back into this.
Yeah, that's a fun one because she is based on Vic the Veep from the comics, and it's so wildly different that I literally couldn't even spoil it. It's so different that it's crazy. Do you think she pops anybody's head on Gen V? And if so, is it a puppet head?
I want it to be so bad. So the heart wants what the heart wants. So I'm going to say yes, it is.
I'm going multiple heads, real and puppet. She's there to pop, dude. If you bring the head popper in, she better pop some heads. I wish the Soup Deucer was up for this one, but any thoughts on the puppets here? We saw a little bit of the scene we saw before, and then the other puppet, I believe, was a female puppet. Looked like she might have been like doing the nasty, right?
It looked like she might have been.
She's gonna ride that donkey, ride that donkey.
Might have been some puppet on puppet action here. We got to find out. I'm intrigued by this puppet piece,
like the Sesame Street joint, wasn't it? It looked like Sesame Street, and I think we saw the Deep as a puppet.
It did. So I wonder if that's part of the education, or if that's part of what that is. I'm excited to see what that is. I have no idea what that could be.
I don't either, and that wouldn't surprise me if maybe that's the way we get like Soldier Boy also as a puppet or something. I'm there for it. If they like, I really loved kind of when they did the Buster Beaver episode with Black Noir in season 3 or whatever. So if they want to do some weird puppet stuff, I think I'm there for it. But I mean, I'm generally there for weird puppet stuff. So please don't judge me.
Mills, anything else before we get out of here, buddy?
Not really. I just think I'm generally excited. I kind of wish they weren't dropping 3 episodes on opening night during the football season here, but if they're really good, I'll very much appreciate it because I will stay up as late as it takes to watch them.
Yeah, I feel the same way about it. This too shall pass. We've done it before. We'll do it again right here on Compound B. Now, Magnum Mills, if you would, good sir, please break down how our coverage of Gen V is going to work as we lay out kind of into the season here. That's kicking off September 29th, just around the corner.
Yeah, the cards on the table here. We do not have access to screeners as of now, so the first week could be a little rough. Might have to kind of cram the 3 episodes in, but most people are going to watch them all as a group anyways, at least on the initial offering. I'm sure after the fact, people watch them individually. But once we kind of power through the first week there, we'll be dropping episodes of Compound B every week. They'll kind of come out either Monday night or Tuesday afternoon. So it's on Friday. You have your weekend, have fun, watch football on Sunday. Then bam, you got Compound B Monday night, Tuesday afternoon.
Sounds good to me. Sounds like a plan. Thank you guys for watching, listening, checking us out right here on Compound B. Make sure you see all of our other stuff. Get over to the Joe Blow Football Show. Get over to Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. Get over to all the other things we do. Joe Blow Football Show will take you to all of our stuff. So make sure you're there. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of this other awesome stuff we're doing. Compound B, man, I'm super pumped to get back into Compound B. We've got this, and then hopefully we'll follow it up, either later this year or beginning of that next year when season 4 of The Boys comes out. Make sure you're there for all of it. And comment. Let us know what you're fired up about. Let us know what you liked about the trailers, and if we missed anything, we'll definitely address it on the next one. And we look forward to seeing you then.
And if you're into puppets, you can let us know too. Some of us,
Sure.
No one likes to feel like they're alone. Thank you again for checking us out. Remember, Compound B, wherever you eat your pods, on the YouTube, on the social media, at Compound B Pod. Not sure who had just at Compound B. I think it's some kind of joint cream or something like that. So that's not us. But thank you for not forgetting us and not forgetting the flaps. Follow, like, and please subscribe. That's the thing that helps us the most. If you had fun, giving us that thumb is all we ask for. No puppets needed. I'm Magnum Mills. He's Jamie G. The Soup Deucer's taking a snooze. Jay Scratch is at a music festival or something. Everyone's having fun. And hopefully you're going to be back here to have fun with Compound B. And one of these days, I'll get around to telling you what the B stands for. Tune in and find out.